Hello and welcome, and thank you for taking the time to be here today and attend our retirement income webinar titled Managing Income in the Next Stage, aka orchestrating a common sense approach to retirement income. Friends, today I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtain and show you one method that I use to help my clients create reliable, inflation-adjusted, lifelong lasting, peace of mind creating, happiness supporting retirement paychecks for life. I'm confident by the end of our session, you'll be much more informed about the possibilities for your retirement lifestyle. So my ask for you today, listen folks, I've helped hundreds of clients successfully transition to retirement, and that's what I want to help you do today. I'd ask that you don't multitask. I'm going to focus on you entirely today, and I encourage you to do the same. I'm going to be moving quickly, and I won't apologize for that. I'm going to give you a lot of things to think about, so as they say, you take the best, leave the rest. Enter your questions in the chat box below the screen. I'm not going to stop to take questions during the presentation, but I promise I'll answer all of them at the end. Now, if your questions are very personal or specific to your situation, I'll likely not answer them here unless I feel that they can benefit the entire group. If that's the case, I'll ask you to take those offline and either call me or email me after the session. So let me tell you what I'm going to cover today so that if this is not what you're interested in, I'll save you half an hour of your time. See, time is our most valuable asset, and I never want to waste anybody's. So I'm going to cover the 4 major risks in retirement, 5 components of a retirement income plan, how we actually monitor the plan, what you can expect from me and my service, review our offer to you, and also providing you some free bonuses at the end. So let me introduce myself. My name is Steve Kuna, and I am the founder and managing partner of a firm called RetirementCFO. We are obviously a retirement-focused advisory firm. The host of a Retirement CFO channel on YouTube. I'm currently writing 2 books on financially related topics. I've been voted a top 100 retirement plan advisor several years running by the Plan Advisor magazine and the Financial Times. I've been featured on the television show Wall Street Today, which was seen on a number of news channels, and I've been quoted in numerous industry publications. I've also was a former director of retirement plan services at New England Financial, MetLife, and Mass Mutual. I spent 13 years as a U.S. Army Reserve officer in the infantry, and I attended University of Massachusetts, got a bachelor's in economics. I live in New Hampshire and been married 11 years. I have 2 kids and 2 dogs. So there's a quick overview on me. Some of what we'll be discussing today involves the use of various investment strategies. And investments by their very nature involve risk. So you should be aware of these risks as well as some of our service providers. So first of all, just to point out the fact that my firm is Retirement CFO. I'm a registered investment advisory firm. I'm affiliated with a broker-dealer called LPL, which is the largest independent broker-dealer in the country. And I am working with a program called Income Conductor. And so we'll be showing you some pieces from that software program. And Income Conductor, again, is a methodology and a presentation tool that's designed to help easily show clients how we structure retirement income programs. Income Conductor was created by a firm called Wealth Conductor, LLC. So hopefully this clarifies some of the names that you'll see throughout the presentation. So let's talk about your next stage of life. You know, looking back, you can see the stages that you've already passed through to get to this point in your life. Childhood, adolescence, higher education, raising a family, building a career, to name a few. But now you're looking forward to the next stage. And whether you're considering a gradual transition or a totally different life experience, there's issues and challenges that are very different than those that you dealt with during your wealth accumulation years. This new stage used to be called retirement, but now many of us think of it as a whole new chapter in our life. Retirement used to be thought of as a destination, but we now understand that it's a process and a life stage. So looking forward, sociologists tell us we're going to go through several stages in retirement, and each of these stages has both emotional and financial components, and they're commonly referred to as go-go, slow-go, and no-go. So regardless how you define the next stage, you'll need a lifetime income strategy that can adapt to your changing income needs. And that's what we're going to cover today. The stages of retirement are typically defined by our activity level. These levels naturally slow down as we age. Nevertheless, our income needs to continue. The amount of income we need as we age may not go down, but rather be redirected. What we once spent on travel may now be needed for health care or helping our grandchildren. Even though our activity may slow down, our expenses may not. There are many components to a retirement income plan. Risk management is one of the most important. The four primary risks that need to be addressed are longevity risk, inflation risk, investment risk, and behavior risk. Now let's take a closer look at each of these risks. How long will you live? That's a loaded question, and it's one that's virtually impossible to answer. But many retirees are surprised by the current statistics provided by insurance mortality tables. As you can see, a 65-year-old married couple has a 50% probability of at least one partner living beyond 91 years of age. Retirement lasting 20, 30, even 40 years are becoming commonplace, and these longer time spans must be considered when planning for income. The longevity risk magnifies the inflation risk. Over the past 25 years, the cost of goods and services have doubled and even tripled. At a 3% inflation rate, the value of a dollar decreases 25% every 10 years. A 30-year retirement could reduce the purchasing power of a dollar all the way to 25 cents. A properly designed income plan will focus on maintaining purchasing power as a central goal. So looking at the next 25 years inflation rate on goods consumed heavily by seniors, i.e. medical services or prescription drugs, have been increasing at a much higher rate than average. So planning for inflation is a moving target of a retirement income planning. And frequent check-ins on spending and providing course corrections to make sure assets are aligned with the dynamic inflation environment is critical to retirees' long-term success. This new investment risk that retirees face that they hadn't encountered while accumulating their wealth is called sequence returns risk. One consequence that sequence return risk has is a negative impact on the longevity of your assets should you experience negative returns early in retirement. Not having a process to avoid or transfer that risk could have a significant impact on retirement success. A popular retirement income strategy is called systematic withdrawals, also known as the 4% rule. The 4% rule was first introduced back in 1994 by a financial advisor named Bill Begnan. Today, it does not meet the needs of retirees who have very different spending patterns than retirees of 25 years ago, and will always expose your portfolio to the sequence of return risk that I just mentioned. It also assumes that spending in retirement is linear and only needs to change due to inflation. But today we know that retirees' spending patterns are anything but linear. Now, it may not be possible to avoid all investment risk in order to meet your income goals, but there are strategies to help manage that risk. Addressing investment risk for retirement income purposes would include creating a buffer between your current income and short-term market volatility, or potentially transferring the investment risk to an insurance company or an institution, or a combination of both of these strategies. Volatility is a statistical measure of the swings in returns for a given security or investment portfolio. A common measurement of volatility is called standard deviation. And a simple explanation of standard deviation is how much variance the returns can have from an expected rate of return, or ROR. So for example, if an investment had an expected rate of return of 5% and a standard deviation of 10, that would mean in any given year the return could be as high as 15% or as low as -10. Obviously, the higher the standard deviation, the scarier the ride can be. So developing investment mixes that have standard deviations within your individual risk tolerance is a major part of the work that I do when developing your plan. Now, as much as I wish there was a crystal ball that can warn us when the markets are going to go down, it just doesn't exist. Some advisors claim that they can time the market and strategically move your money in and out of the market at the best possible time. And although we do include tactical investment strategies in our retirement income plans that have had impressive results, they're only part of an overall diversified portfolio. Certainly, we all know someone who claims they got out of the markets before the 2008 crash just at the right time, but did they know when to get back in? See, there are two strategic moves when you're attempting market timing. That's when to get out and also when to get back in. You must get both right in order to be successful. On the other hand, given time, markets recover. So this chart shows here the historical results of a single asset class, the S&P 500, when held and allowing dividends to reinvest over varying time horizons. So as you can see, when held for 10 years, the S&P 500 only resulted in a loss 5% of the time. To give this statistic more meaning, this analysis actually looked at 985 10-year rolling periods of time since 1926, all the way to the end of 2017. When investing in the stock market, time is your ally and can help in managing loss of principal risk. Now, of all the risks that can negatively influence investment success, one of the most damaging is behavior risk. Many investors will move money in and out of the market based on emotions of fear and greed. And typically they're going to get out when the market is dropped and then get back in when there's been enough growth that they feel safe. Unfortunately, this results in a sell low, buy high pattern. A research group called Dalbar and Associates has been analyzing investor results for many years, and they consistently find that investors are not achieving the same performance as the overall market. Consistently, on 20-year time horizons, investors are falling short of market returns by an average of 4% per year. As you can see in the summary report, 40% of this underperformance is attributable to investor behavior, or as I like to say, investor bad behavior. I always remind my clients that bad markets do temporary damage, but bad behavior does permanent damage. Allowing fear and greed to drive investment decisions can only result in poor returns. So this is the part where we show you the strategy to help you manage these risks. The strategy for providing income and managing risks that I'd like to share with you is called Income Conductor, and it's based on a time-segmented approach. By using Income Conductor technology, I can divide your retirement into bite-sized time horizons. And in doing so, I can mathematically determine how much of your money will be needed for income in the short term versus mid-term versus long-term. I can then more confidently invest your long-term money more aggressively than your short-term money. The number of segments in a plan can be customized, as can the number of years each segment lasts. In this strategy, the first segment is always placed into an account that has no stock market risk. This is the buffer that I referred to earlier. The remaining accounts are left to reinvest and grow while the first segment is delivering your current income. When the first segment has completed its job, then the second segment is converted to a similar no market risk account that will deliver income over the next time horizon. This accomplishes several objectives. First, it eliminates the sequence of return risks that we just discussed, because with this strategy, you'll never be taking income from an account that has market risk. Day to day and month to month, market fluctuations will not affect your current income because the income segment is not subject to these fluctuations. So it provides market opportunities that increase the probability of your income growing with inflation. It easily allows for modifications along the way. The segments are typically 3 to 5 years in length and allow us to constantly reconfirm your needs throughout retirement and update the plan accordingly. It gives retirees the confidence to take some risks with their investments, since the accounts that have market risk are typically held for 10 years or longer. It helps you protect yourself against your emotions driving your investment decisions. That is, if the market drops significantly, you know that you don't need to panic because the segments that are in the market won't be needed until years in the future, thus allowing you to confidently ride out the market swings This strategy can be custom made for your needs in retirement. See, with Income Conductor, we can have as few as 2 segments or as many as 10. Each segment can be as short as a year or as long as 10 years. Consequently, we can develop a 2-year retirement income plan or a 100-year retirement plan and everything in between. As illustrated in our previous discussion on managing investment losses, you can see on this slide that the growth-oriented portfolios are not introduced until after the second segment, assuming that each segment is 5 years in length, thus applying the time in the market strategy. Now, if we never had inflation, then a portfolio of cash and bonds could provide you a level income for the rest of your life. But as soon as we need growth in your income, then it means we need to introduce growth asset classes into your plan. Now, once again, those growth asset classes are in portfolios that we'll be holding for 10 years and longer. Now, although the strategy makes certain inflation assumptions at the beginning, segmentation allows for inflation adjustments at each segment based on how expenses have actually changed versus our original hypothetical assumptions. Additionally, the Income Conductor technology allows me to apply different inflation assumptions for different expense categories. Your travel expenses may increase at a different rate than your medical expenses. You may have expenses that have no inflationary increase at all, like the principal and interest payment on your home mortgage. See, this flexibility allows me to tailor your expense projections and easily monitor them during your retirement. The other risk we discussed earlier was longevity risk. The Income Conductor methodology allows us to address this risk by adding an additional segment at the end of your plan, which could continue inflation-adjusted income for several years beyond your original assumption. If the income is not needed, then this segment would become a legacy segment for transferring assets to your heirs. This longevity segment may be funded using an investment account, or the longevity risk could be transferred to an insurance company with a longevity/legacy type product. As you can see, there are many moving parts in a properly designed retirement income plan. Not only is it important to consider these variables when creating your plan, it's also important to have someone to manage the overall plan moving forward and continue to monitor it. So here's a question you might have. What can you expect from our advisory relationship? Well, there are 5 important components to your retirement performance. Obviously, there's your personalized plan, a disciplined approach, employing diversification, reviewing and adjusting your plan, and then ongoing communication. Under personalized plan, to help ensure you're poised for lifetime income, we develop a personalized income plan that will incorporate assets managed by our firm as well as assets that may be held elsewhere. Your personal income plan for retirement is not based on a single asset or account, but rather is based on the financial capital of your whole household. This is so your plan can reflect assets that you may still hold in a 401k or employer stock plans. In terms of our disciplined approach, it's natural to experience emotions like fear and greed in response to changes in the markets. Our income planning strategy can help you manage those emotions by keeping a significant buffer of fixed assets between you and short-term market fluctuations. Your income plan should also use diversified investment portfolios and product selections. Income Conductor tracks and reports on products and investment portfolios that attempt to manage market risk through global diversification. The mix is personalized to meet your income goals and be consistent with your risk tolerance. Recognizing that your income needs may vary over stages of your retirement and market conditions may change, we'll meet periodically to review the progress of your plan and make any adjustments that are necessary. All changes will be approved by you. Each step of this process will be documented and approved by you. After reviewing proposed plans, an approved plan report will be created outlining the details of your personalized plan. And each time we meet, you'll receive a client review report that will detail and measure your plan's progress and any changes that we agree to make to the plan at that time. As a result of attending this presentation, you are now entitled to a no-cost appointment for us to meet either in person or virtually and determine if my services would be a benefit for you. During this meeting, we could discuss your specific goals and objectives and also review your current investment accounts. With this information, I can provide a personalized income conductor report. So I have to ask you, have I earned the right to make you an offer? So I made you a promise at the beginning that I would do something special for you if you stuck with me until the end. So thanks for still being here. All of you are going to receive a free copy of my Retirement Wisdom White Paper titled 6 Best and Worst IRA Rollover Decisions. Now, it's only a 10-page report, but it is absolutely packed with great information and no industry jargon. And avoiding just one of these bad IRA decisions could save you thousands of dollars. This report is going to be emailed to all of you within one day. So bonus number 2, do you want a $250 value for free? This is only for those who make decisions and take action. So if you schedule your no-cost retirement consultation with me within 24 hours, and so we're clear, this means the appointment is on the calendar within 24 hours, but must happen within the next month. As a thank you for taking swift action, and if I invite you to become a client, I'll give you a $250 credit towards any retirement income planning fees. This represents up to a 16% cost reduction depending on your situation. Again, we want to motivate and reward those who take action. So again, I want to thank you for sticking with me until the end. I appreciate you giving me your time and attention and allowing me to share with you my retirement income planning services. As I mentioned earlier, we try to make this easy in terms of trying to schedule your no-cost session. You will all be receiving a follow-up email that's going to provide you with a calendar link that you can very easily have direct access to my calendar. Select a day and time that works for you, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Another alternative is you can go directly to my website, and there is a Contact Me tab that's on the left corner of the screen that you can use to book the session. We call that a 30-minute discovery call. And then lastly, if you want to go old school and you want to pick up the phone because you prefer that method, you can call Tiffany in my office directly at 781-437-4800. Her extension is 400. So either way, we aim to please. We hope you'll take advantage of this offer, and we look forward to speaking to you very soon. Thanks again, and take care.